Hey guys, today I want to show you how to use my binary editor here for Shadowrun Returns to manage save game files and do some stuff with your saves that you couldn't otherwise do. This came at the request of a couple of people in the community. So I'm going to pop in here, before even showing the editor, I'm going to bring up Shadowrun. And I'm going to click load game here. I'm going to take one of my first saves and I'm just going to make a copy of it. I make a copy for a couple of reasons. Oops. Make two copies. Anyways, good enough. First reason, of course, is making copies is a smart thing to do if you're going to be mucking with your save games. Even though the tool does do automatic backups for you, I still like copies. But more importantly, what I'm going to do here is I have to open up that save file, and making the copy helps us find the file a little bit better. So you can see here I'm still in my content packs. You're going to have to go find your save files in the Steam version of the game. They're in program files x86, Steam, or wherever you've gotten Steam installed, user data. This is your unique user ID. This will probably be the only folder at that level. This is the unique ID for Shadowrun Returns. It's the same for all of us, 234, 650, remotes and saves. So that's the folder I need to pop into. Nothing here because I've got the wrong filter. Let's put on our save game filter. Now we can see a bunch of save games. So each of these corresponds to a save game in our list there. There usually will also be another one here called autosave, and that's the save game associated with you hitting the continue button. So I deleted mine by accident before I started the vid here, but it doesn't matter. So like I said, there was a couple of reasons to make a copy of the save. The first one is to protect our data, but the second one, and let's just delete the extra I made. The second reason was because these names are absolutely useless to figure out which save we're using. It's nice to do a copy because then it'll be timestamped the newest, and we know that that's the version that we want to be working on. The tool reuses for save games all the infrastructure that was already there for managing a content pack, so it kind of all comes out in the same metaphor here. We can see our file that we opened up. This is it. This is a save game file. It's pretty simple. They do a really weird thing with the whole autosaves, or not autosaves, but so you see is autosave. That was the whole hit the continue button. But the save system itself is a little bit different in this, in that every time that a checkpoint is created, we get an entry in this story data record. So if I pop this open, you'll see this character hasn't gone very far through the story, but we can see this is the character generation autosave or checkpoint. This was the down and out, right, from the 3 years ago scene. Then at the morgue, then at the Barrens. So what Shadowrun Returns does is every time it makes an autosave, it makes a complete save game essentially built right into this. These are all independent. So if I go into here we go, Pike Place Market. This is when you pick up Paco for the first time. I can go and I can change everything about my character here, but it won't be reflected here because each of these checkpoint saves are a complete and independent save. And you'll see what I mean when we actually go into the game and look at my changes. I'm going to pop down to the bottom, which will be my newest save, and you can actually see here they've got time in milliseconds or seconds since some epoch, 1971 or 2000 or something like that. So there we go. This will be the one that we want to muck with. There's a couple of things we can do right here on the main screen. They've got money, so everybody wants lots of money. Let's give ourselves a ton of nuyen. We have team items is actually the quest inventory items. I wouldn't suggest changing that too much. The big one that everybody's going to want to touch in here is the party button, of course. The party button is actually, or the party setting actually brings up the characters in the game. So if you're managing save games, you're probably doing this to change your character. This point in the game, you can see I have myself. This character's name was Chastity. we had Paco, and we had Coyote. So let's go in here to Paco, to our character, Chastity, and let's make some changes. Let's change her name because we didn't like her name, but we have no mechanism to change it. So I'll call her, wow, Vulture, Virtue. Sorry, again, we'll grow this. It's a default. And we can go through here. If you know the prototype names of the cyberware, you can pop them in there, just like you would have done with any other character instance from the content packs. Again, you can go through all this information. The ones that you're going to be most interested in are going to be character mod. In character mod, this is where we're going to have different skills, specializations, and stats. For instance, I can go in here and I'm going to give Virtue a 5 body. We could do the same thing with specialization skills, not a big deal. There's equipment in here, so this is the equipment that's actually equipped by the character. Again, we can just go through and deal with those as we want to. Pretty much any property or setting you can change. Let's go do a couple other things. I'm going to give her unspent karma of 110. That way, again, you could just make the changes with karma directly in here, but this lets you do it through the UI. A bunch of other settings. Another one that people asked about was the portrait. How do I change the portrait if I picked a bad portrait at the beginning? So this is portrait in this texture reference here. There's a couple things we can do. The big one here is we just change the file name. So if I go back into the texture packs in the portraits folder, so your Shadowrun data, streaming assets, content packs, Seattle art, portraits, we have all the portraits here. And as you can see, one stands alone down at the bottom. Where did he go? Oh, I lost it now. That's really sad. There it is. I just copied a guy in here. Same dimensions. I haven't played around with what happens if the dimensions are wrong. But he's called Mr. Banana. So his name is Mr. Banana. All you have to do is in the texture pack, in the texture reference, give the name Mr. Banana. And there you go. And we're going to hit OK on that, and OK on that, and make sure to hit our save button. So again, when we saved, that updated our changes to the save file. We made no changes to the save file before that. And again, we do have an automatic backup system, so if I click Open Backup Location, we'll see all the backup sets that the tool has created, and we'll go to the most recent one. And we can see that our save file that we've been editing has been backed up here in its original state, just in case we make an accident. So that being said, our changes are made. One comment I should make to you is, if you're using Steam, I found with the Steam synchronization that if Steam was open while I was changing while I was editing saves, sometimes the synchronization would fight my changes and I'd end up having to restart, and the status of the save would be unknown. So I would recommend, if you're using Steam at least, to close Shadowrun Returns before you start editing save files. Quickly, I will click Load Game here, and you'll see that our banana person, now called Virtue, has shown up here. Like I said before, if I click Rewind, you'll notice that all the other save slots, the person is still called Chastity with the original portrait, because each checkpoint can be managed individually. But for now, I'm quite happy with loading up Virtue the banana. Just finish this load. And what you'll see here is our portrait has changed to our banana. Character's name has been updated. Our body is set to a body of 6 with with 60 hit points to reflect it. Oops. We have our unspent karma pool, there it is, of 110, our 99,876 points up here. And that's about it. So, any questions? You can either catch me in the SSR mod channel on RC or in the Shadowrun official forum somewhere. Hope this works out well for you guys. Let me know if there's anything we can do to help. Okay, thank you.